Welcome to the Twist Out Cancer podcast, which delves into the emotional journeys of those touched by cancer, offering a platform for survivors, caregivers, previvors, and loved ones to share their experiences. Through intimate conversations, this podcast explores the power of creativity and connection in navigating the challenges of cancer. Guests will discuss the transformative impact of Twist Out Cancer's unique programs and highlight the resilience of the human spirit. We're so happy you're here. Let's get into it.
Okay, hi there, and welcome to Twist Out Cancer's podcast featuring Power Partners Spotlights. My name is August Spree. My pronouns are she, her, and today we are talking with Patricia San Pedro, who goes by Positively Pat, who is in Miami, Florida. She is a cancer thriver, a 4-time Emmy Award winner, speaker, and author of The Cancer Dancer. But today we'll talk to Pat about her journey, how she found a way to engage others in the cancer community, and how she got connected with Twist Out Cancer. So welcome, Pat. Thank you for being here.
I am so happy to be here. A little warmer than you are in Chicago, sorry to say.
Yes, I know. I'm a little jealous. For sure.
Warm vibes your way.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, there are so many things that we can chat about with you, and we have a brief time together. But I mean, I know you got an Emmy for your documentary, The Cancer Dancer. You have a book with the same name, so many other things. But I do want to start with your story. So if you can just give us a brief overview of your cancer journey, and yeah, we'll start there.
Okay. 18 years ago on April 10th, you never forget the date. On April 10th, 2008, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, which was the same disease that took my 59-year-old mom, Daisy. So, of course, as you can imagine, what flashed before my eyes in slow motion was her life and her passing. I was in my fees. So that was, I think, the toughest part of that whole diagnosis. And she was with me, she was guiding me, and she was giving me this joyful spirit, even in the midst of this, because literally 4 hours after I was diagnosed, I called my girlfriends. They came to my house and I said, I have cancer and we're going to videotape the whole journey. And they're going, wait, what? Wait, you have cancer? And I'm going, yes, but I have a message that we're going to use this to help others. And we literally started videotaping 4 hours after being diagnosed, everything.
Wow.
For a whole year. And the whole purpose of it was for us to be able to inform others that were going to go through their own dance with cancer, but while I was in the midst of it, not after. It's just not the same. So being a TV, I said, we're just going to videotape this. I remember we had the big cameras then. It wasn't even with the phones. It was
Yeah.
not comfortable, but yeah. So anything that we found useful, informative, that someone else was going to be able to benefit from, we just videotaped and videotaped and videotaped.
Yeah.
You know, I had girlfriends and family, and they're the ones really that carried me on their wings to healing.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely wanted to touch on that. So thank you for mentioning. I loved how you mentioned that in your sort of recap video montage of your whole journey,
Mhm.
which, I mean, I'm going to circle back to that. But
Okay.
I really love when you talked about leaning heavily on your friends. I call mine chosen family because I find the same thing in my journey. I mean, I was married at the time and pregnant at the time of my
Mm.
diagnosis,
Oh.
but that experience showed me that I was not married to a partner.
Mm.
And the person who climbed into bed next to me and rubbed my back and was there was my best friend, who now we've been friends for 31 years and I'm divorced from,
Yes.
that person. And like, that's the person, if you say like, who's your soulmate, that's the person, you
Yeah.
know,
I get it.
she's been through everything with me. And I think that this should be talked about more, that like, it's not always that blood family that carry you through things. I think that's really important to talk. I really loved how you mentioned that. Talk about that throughout your video and journey.
It was critical for me. I mean, I had my dad and my stepmom and, aunt and uncle and my cousins. But really the ones that were there day in and day out was my family. It was my
Yeah, I like
girlfriend.
that.
They are the ones that slept with me, and they are the ones who fed me during a whole year of chemo, which I call sacred juice because it's healing.
I know.
And they're the ones. They came to every single 17 of my sessions, of my chemotherapy sessions, they came to it. And I think for us women, one of the hardest things, we like to take care of others is to allow others to take care of us.
Mm,
And for us to, like give up the reins, right? And if things
yeah,
aren't our way, that's okay. Doesn't have to be done the way I always do it. So yeah, circling back
yeah,
to that, having that web of angels really was critical
yeah.
in my healing.
I think that's so beautiful. Community is so important, and it doesn't have to look one way
Right.
because you hear so much that it's, that and that's not to downplay the blood related family,
No,
that
no,
we
no,
have
of course
available
not.
as well at all, but that it can be expansive. It can be beyond that. So,
Exactly,
um,
exactly. So yes, so that was was a year's worth of surgeries and the sacred juice and
yeah,
a double mastectomy, which, I always say my girls now are better than my older girls. And learning to be okay with ourselves as bald women, that was harder
yeah.
for me than losing my breasts, was
Oh
losing
my
this
God, I
crazy
loved your
hair.
statement when you were like, it used to be raining men and now it's snowing hair.
I
I
did
mean, it
see my
just
video.
added, I mean, it just added a whole different perspective to it,
That's what hit the vanity, was
Yeah,
the hair.
yeah,
But I had fun. I just tried to turn everything into fun. So
yeah,
I had pink wigs and Cleopatra black wigs, and I had long
yeah,
red wigs, and you just never knew who was gonna show up that day. But
yeah.
we turned it into a dance, which is why it's called
The
the
cancer dancer.
dance. Yes.
That's one thing I picked up on. Your overall theme is joy.
Yes.
And it really shows in everything that you do, even in those very difficult moments. Like one of the things I took away from just looking at your journey and watching your videos and different things was just how incredibly open and vulnerable you were in documenting so many real moments that are also relatable and somehow like beautiful in their relatability that you captured, like you said, when you started filming 4 hours into the diagnosis, like, you captured those moments that people often talk about later, but seeing you in the moment made it that much more relatable to someone who's been through that or someone who's watched someone go through it. So, my question is, do you ever watch those moments back and see something new or different about yourself
I don't
now with your
I don't
current
watch it
perspective?
back. No, I don't
No?
watch it back. No. I live in the now.
Okay.
Another huge lesson. I mean, I can, I've
Yeah.
gone back and seen the documentary, which is the Discovery
Okay.
Channel documentary. I have gone back to see it, and honestly, what affects me most is all the video with my mother and my dad, who now passed since then. So that's
Yeah.
moves me, but it's interesting because I really do attempt to live in the present moment because
Mhm.
I don't know that this is all we have, and
Yeah.
but yes, of course, learned tons of lessons in the midst of that whole year. Well, I mean, still to this day, I mean, how can you stop learning lessons? When you stop learning lessons, you're dead.
Yeah.
So we need to grow and we need to expand intellectually, emotionally, spiritually.
Mhm.
So important. So, and I do share that 9-minute video. I share it on the website, and I do share it with some of the ladies. We'll talk about my group later when they're diagnosed. Again, all with
Yeah.
the hope of giving hope, all with the hope of giving hope.
Yeah. That was also when I wanted to ask, part of Twist Out Cancer's motto is that when you share, the world opens up. So this, I'm watching you and I'm just like, you get it. You know what I mean? Like sharing and helping others is not only obviously helpful, putting something out in the world, but it's also a way we find it's a way to stay grounded ourselves, like you're saying, living in the moment. You're staying grounded in that moment so that you can accurately be vulnerable about it. And it kind of keeps you moving through whatever you might be experiencing, which is
Life,
foundation.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. So why so I know you mentioned that you had a background in TV. So like I know you said so you were diagnosed, you were like, "We're gonna film this." What was walk us through the brain process of you being like, coming to that decision?
Well, the night before I got the diagnosis, I had had the biopsy that afternoon, and I know I'm getting hot and red. That's just because of my bronchitis thing. It affects me with heat, so ignore this red face.
No, you look great.
I look at myself and I'm going, "Who the heck is
No,
that?" Like a tomato.
you can't even
Anyway,
tell 'em. Yeah.
anyways, it's all about being real, you know?
Yeah.
So I felt the lump. So I would have a scan and a mammogram, an ultrasound and a mammogram every 6 months. I had very dense breasts. And honestly, my mom died from breast cancer. She was so young. So I would get checked every 6 months. But I never, this is so weird. Don't do what I did. I would never give myself a self-exam for some reason, which we all should do that. Men and women, for real.
Yes. Yeah.
But one day, this thumb just went like this in the shower. Just went like that. Felt a lump. I had never done that before. I was due for a doctor's appointment the following week, and I told her, and she did a biopsy, and I was waiting for the call the next day. So that night, I have like a little altar with all my sacred stones and all these
Yes.
sacred things. I'm very spiritual.
Love it.
I went to the altar and I was praying, please let me be healthy, all that. And then something very strange happened that's never happened before. I heard a voice, and I live alone and my cats don't talk. So I heard a voice that said, "You're going to use this to help others." And I literally went like, I'm going, okay, I'm losing it.
Yeah.
And I went back to my praying and please, let me be healthy. And I heard it again. Very strange.
Yeah.
So I knew.
So that was before the diagnosis came.
I got the diagnosis the next afternoon.
Right. Wow. So you
So
knew
I
even
already
before
knew
that.
that I was
Yeah.
meant to help others through this.
Wow.
So then that led me that next day when I was diagnosed to start videotaping.
Mhm.
Because how am I going to help others? Well, let me bring them into my journey
Right.
and let them show them going through and let me give them tips and advice. And my girlfriends, they videotaped a lot of this. I videotaped a lot of it myself, but it was just a knowing that this is what I needed to do. And
Mhm.
so we did. And it became such a celebration of life that entire year. It was, as strange as it sounds, such a joyful celebration of friendship and love. And, in the chemo ward, we would be, I would come out and I would do the chemo conga. And, they would,
Yeah.
and we would bring food for all the other patients and the nurses and with our pink boas. And it's like, what are we going to do? Just sit there and just, like just go down this hole? Mm,
Right.
it's like, no, that's not going to be healing anyways.
Mhm. And I think it's very hard to well, I can speak from my own experience, but it was hard for me to talk to people I knew about what was going on in the middle of it, you know?
In what
There were
way?
just a couple of people close to me who knew, and because I didn't feel like I could put I think I felt like I needed to have, like, I needed to have a framework or I needed to talk about it a certain way, you know what I mean? In the middle, like, it's much easier for me to talk about it afterwards than
Uh,
it was in the midst of it, so that's something that I recognized about what you were doing is that when you're, like, in the hospital, you know what I mean? Literally in the middle of everything, talking about the moments that are happening or, the hiccups or, you know, the things that are coming as they're happening, you don't know the outcome yet.
right.
So there's not any framework. It's just, it is what it is right now. This is where I'm at. And to me, that's just an extra layer of vulnerability because when you come through a difficult situation, you have the framework already. I made it. I'm here. And now I'm going to
Right.
talk about what happened.
It's in the rear view mirror. It's different.
Yeah, and I think it is harder to talk about it when it's happening because you don't know where it's headed. So I guess I just want to point that out and say, like, it's just really incredible to see and thank you for that. And I know that your community, so you can talk about like how many people like you have this community. Is it mostly women with breast cancer, or do you found others have also joined your community? Tell us a little bit about it.
So in the midst of, well, so the whole year of of when I was going through the chemo and then the surgeries again, when
Hmm.
that was over, I started just trying to make sense of what I had written and looking through all the video that I had shot. And it was like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen with this? And then I started to be invited to speak, give keynote speeches at different places around the world, really, as a patient, from a patient perspective. Like one of my favorite ones was in Switzerland. I was invited by a pharmaceutical, and it was their global, it wasn't even my pharma, but it was their global convention for all their doctors and scientists. So
Mm,
these are people that come up with all this stuff, but they don't go home with you. They don't see you. They don't see what you're going through. There's no emotional attachment. So played my video for them. And I can tell you
wow.
there wasn't a dry eye. These doctors, yeah, they were like, so humanizing what we go through is so important. So at that point, I start getting called by doctors, by nurses, by people, sending people to me that have been diagnosed,
Oh, wow.
going, "Oh my
Like
gosh."
individuals?
Hmm?
They're referring individuals to connect with you.
Individuals to me, so I can
Wow.
help them through their cancer because you handled it so well and you were so I said, "I have to do something with this, right? I have to do something bigger with this." So that's when I created a Positively Pat, positivelypat.com, which is, it's a health and wellness community. And from that came the Link of Hope Sisters. And we're sisters because we have attitude. And it started with women who were diagnosed with breast cancer, but now it's women who've been diagnosed with cancer. And it has grown, unfortunately, because these are all people that have been diagnosed. But
Right.
thankfully, there is a place for these women to come to. And we have had now, I mean, the Link of Hope Sisters has been around now since 16 years, I think. And we
Wow.
have women around the globe that are part of our beautiful support group. It's not an actual nonprofit. It's not a for-profit. It's a nothing profit. It's a benefit profit
Yeah.
for someone that's going through cancer, a woman. It's all
Yeah.
women. So when I travel somewhere and I have some sisters, I meet them. We have gatherings for the ones that live here. It's wonderful. And then they take it on themselves. So it's not even me or mine anymore. It's this beautiful group of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women around the planet that
Hmm.
are brought into this umbrella and they help each other through it. Because it's
Yeah.
wonderful to have caregivers and people that love you, that support you, but it's never the same as someone who's gone through it, who's been there and done that.
Yes. And so one of the things, so we'll talk about how you found out about Twist Out Cancer and participated in the Brushes with Cancer program. But one of the foundational principles of that program is that when you're introduced to someone who's not part of your circle, there's a little extra freedom there to talk about your experience. So I feel like that's happening in your community as well. Like, not only do you have people who have gone through their own diagnosis, but it's also not someone who you're automatically coded to protect their feelings about your feelings. Do you know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah, right. It's
So
about
it's,
someone that you are invested in the sense that if it's a sister or a mother or a daughter,
yes, right,
where you bring on that whole added, obviously, love, right?
right. Yeah.
So this,
Yeah. Like I know for me, I don't think I ever uttered out loud how scared I was when I
mm,
was diagnosed. I was being brave and moving forward and like, okay, what are my options? And, all of that. I was also pregnant when I was diagnosed. So I didn't know what that meant for pregnancy or the toddler that I already had. And so there were a lot of layers in my head that I jotted down in my journal a little bit, but never talked with anyone about because I thought, oh, if I say that, then everyone else is going to be even more freaked out than they already are, you know?
right, right.
And then when I discovered the Brushes with Cancer program and got matched with an artist, I got to share those things for the first time. And that was 10 years past my diagnosis. So it was like saying it out loud really offered me more healing than I expected.
I
to
love
be
that.
able to kind of air it out, and I know that your documentation of your journey, I'm sure that was offering some of that release as well to be able to say those things. But I imagine that in your community, that might be part of the dynamic too, which is incredible.
Absolutely. I mean, venting and expressing
Yeah.
your fear is
Yeah.
huge. It's
Right.
huge. It's huge because you're absolutely right. Like my dad was
Hmm.
alive at the time, and boy, did I have on a face of like, I got this.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And of course, his wife, my mother, passed from
Right.
this, an only child. And he wasn't the most positive person on the planet. Yeah. So
So
I
that's why you're so positive.
that's what was positively crazy with him not being positive. But yes, no, you're absolutely right. I think it is freeing to be able to express your fear. I always say, it's normal to feel fear, to feel sadness, to feel grief. Just don't buy real estate on that land.
Ooh, I like
That's the
that.
key.
I
That's
like
the
that.
key.
Okay. It's normal to feel fear and grief. Just don't buy real estate on that land.
Right. Walk through it, learn what you
Yeah.
need to learn in that space,
Hmm.
and then come out the other side.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That's hard to remember sometimes.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And, with this particular instance, it's cancer. It could be,
Hmm.
you're getting all blurry on me.
It's okay. Sometimes that's just because of how the
Okay.
recording is.
Okay. We're good. So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, how many do you have a number for how many are kind of involved in your community at this point?
Well, they come in and out, which is
Yeah.
interesting. I think right now we have about 500 or so around the world,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
it might be some more than that. But
Hmm.
some women come into the group when they're diagnosed and they
Hmm.
go through it, they get help, they get supported, they get loved. And when they're done, they're out. And that's perfectly fine. That's what
Hmm.
works for them. And then there's others that choose to stay and then
Hmm.
choose to help others that are newly diagnosed. And
Yeah.
and that's the core of the group, but either way,
Yeah.
it's fine. I mean, over the years, we've probably had 1,000 women, and from Switzerland to Brazil to, I mean, everywhere, all over the
Yeah.
planet. And it's
Yeah.
fabulous really to understand and to learn how treatments vary. I have one of my sisters, she's in Newfoundland. She would
Hmm.
need to travel 8 hours to get treatment to see her doctor. And then
One
there were
way?
things that
I
was
mean, still.
normal for us, like the new last style, the day after, certain things that were normal for us she
Hmm.
never heard of. So we learn so much from each
Yeah.
other that goes honestly beyond even the cancer. And one of the most wonderful things that has come from this group is the friendships that have been formed from the girls themselves.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing. And some have gone on to write books. Others have gone on to build nonprofits. I mean,
Hmm.
so many of them have gone off and still a part of the group, but are now doing other things to help other women that are diagnosed. And honestly, I hope, when the time comes that that's my legacy. That's
Yeah. I
something that
mean,
can just keep giving and giving and giving.
yes, I feel like you already have developed. I mean, this is what something I love specifically about a lot of the women that I've spoken to throughout our years in community is that a lot of seek out that community wherever they're finding connection immediately. And I really appreciate that. And that's something that we want more people to do and more people to know about. So, speaking of that, how
Yes,
did you find out about Twist Out Cancer and like decide to get involved?
I was called.
Did I call you? No.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Someone from the Arts Center called me in
Right.
Miami.
Yes.
So they asked me if I
Amazing.
would be interested in participating, and they described it to me, and I said, "Oh my goodness, of course." So it's a
Yeah.
wonderful program that you do and that you've done. I mean, and it touches so many lives. You should feel very, very proud of this.
It's my passion project. The same as like Positively Pat is for your
Yes.
this is the imprint that I wish to leave on the world is these sort of unexpected connections and giving people a chance to heal through them. So and then add that there's art involved, like
Hello.
beautiful. Yeah. I love it.
Right?
Okay, so just tell us a little bit. We don't have to like lean heavily on that because I want to talk a little bit about your film.
Yes.
Um, but a little bit about your experience in the Brushes with Cancer program and being matched.
So you matched me with this fabulous artist, Candy Lopez.
Mhm.
My God, this woman, she's amazing. Everyone should look her up. Candy with a K, Lopez. She
Yeah.
is funky and fun and creative and has attitude and it's like she's just the bomb. I just love her. And we got to know each other through this thing. We had breakfast. She came to my house
Oh, I love
and
it.
and she ended up doing this fabulous art piece, which I actually looked at today. I mean, I don't
Oh,
have it on my phone, a picture on my phone. And it's just all these women, all these one colorful women dancing.
yep.
It's
I remember this piece.
okay. But it was just, wonderful to get to know her and like a creative to a creative, but she's a creative. She is
Yeah.
like she's amazing. So I was very honored to be paired with her and very lucky.
Oh, I love that. I love hearing that because all of the matching is done by myself and our founder, Jenna.
You did good.
We Yeah, I mean, it's so fun, you know what I mean? I get excited about it. I do my like, I have my incense, you know what I mean? I get, like, everything set so that I can kind of just, like and, um and I like to mention that because I think in a day where there's a lot of, like, automated and AI, powered things, which, everyone makes their own decisions on that. I'm not here to say anything about it, but with this being such a personal, we read and look at every applicant's, submission
Right.
and make very thoughtful decisions. So it always makes me happy, especially when they're like, "Oh, they're coming over to my house," or, the friendships are being formed. So
So you said you lit sage? Is that what
yeah,
you
I
said?
do. You love some?
Honey,
Yes.
have I got
Yeah,
sage?
this is like right back there. You can see it in the bowl right there.
Oh, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
on the same page. I love it.
I'm here for it.
Goodness. This
Okay,
is so much
so tell us what?
no, I'm saying this is so much fun, even though I keep getting red.
Yeah. No,
Excuse me, no, keep going. I'm good. If you don't mind the
okay.
coffee, I'm good.
No, no, you're good. Tell us about your film, The Cancer Dancer, and then the book, which came first. Also, where can we find it? Because I could not find the film. I mean,
Yeah,
I saw where I can find the book, but I'll let you
yeah.
tell it.
Well, you can't find the documentary, because it aired on Discovery Channel,
Okay.
and I need to figure out a way to get it back. So it was shot in English. Everything is in English, but it was aired all throughout Latin America with Spanish subtitles,
Hmm.
and it aired in the United States with Spanish subtitles. So I have the rights to it in English, but I need to get a streamer involved so they can stream it.
Okay.
And I really haven't followed up on it. It's a wonderful documentary, but people can see a 9-minute highlight reel of it.
Yes.
If you go to my website, positivelypat.com,
Hmm.
it's on the homepage, and that
Yes.
gives you an idea.
Which I highly recommend. If you're listening, please go and watch this. It is amazing.
Yeah, it's just 9 minutes, but it gives you an idea. The documentary is really powerful. I really need to work on that, but
Yeah.
I will at some point.
Okay,
And
and
then
then the
the
book
Cancer
came
Dancer.
after?
Hmm?
The book
Sorry?
came after?
No, the book came, well, it kind of
First.
both came. No, everything
Oh,
kind of came at more or less. The book came first-ish. The book is in English, Spanish, and Portuguese.
wow.
So
Okay.
it's in print in English, and then it's digital in Spanish and in Portuguese. So in English, it's called The Cancer Dancer, Healing
Mhm.
One Step at a Time. And of
Yes.
course, and the
And you can
other,
find that on your website as well.
yes, and you can find that at your independent bookstore or anywhere where they sell books.
Yeah.
Amazon, of course, but I love to promote independent bookstores.
Yes.
Yes.
Same, same, same.
So that's there. Yeah. And then the other thing that I'm not sure you know about that came after the documentary, the book, is my art exhibit.
Oh, no. Tell
Yeah.
me. Tell me
Um,
more.
it's called Discover Your Doorway. And that's a website also, Discover Your Doorway.
Okay. I'm jotting this down.
So I've always loved to take photographs. I'm a photographer, amateur, lover, just love taking pictures. I drive my friends and family crazy because I take so many pictures, but hey, it's who I am. So I've always taken pictures of doors. I love colorful, funky. You do too,
Yes,
of course.
mostly overseas. I don't necessarily find a
Overseas,
lot here, but yes,
overseas.
like in Portugal and Malta and Greece and like doors. Yes.
Okay, we have much in common.
Yeah, we we had a chat more. Okay, go ahead.
So, anyways, so I've always taken photographs of doors, Europe, mostly Latin America. So I'm now in the midst of the 17 sessions of the Sacred Juice, and I'm
Yeah.
walking my neighborhood and I see a red door in a house, and I'm going, gosh, I have so many great pictures of doors. And then all of a sudden, the idea just comes to me is like, wow, as I'm in the midst of this, a door represents something more, something different for me. I can look at it as a portal and I can either walk up to the door and say, this is it. This is the end. I'm done. Or if I have faith and strength and courage, I can walk up to the door, open it, and walk past, and I will discover unexpected blessings. That was the idea that just fell into my brain. It's probably my mom.
Yeah.
So fast forward, there's an exhibit called Discover Your Doorway. And it is doorways that I've shot around the planet. They're mounted on wood, the wall of the building and the doors mounted on wood.
It's actual doors or it's photographs of
Well,
doors?
it's photographs, it's all photography.
Okay.
Then the door itself is cut out and then reattached with hinges and doorknobs.
What?
And you walk up to it and you literally open the door to another photograph.
Wow.
So the front photograph is in one location in the world, and the photograph behind it is a completely different location. And that's the unexpected blessing.
Oh.
And
So
it,
where is this exhibit?
well, I did an exhibit in Coral Gables at a gallery. And now I have some of my pieces are at an exhibit at Florida International University's Jewish Museum of Florida on Miami Beach. It's up through the end of March, and it's 4 artists, 4 female artists, and I'm one of the artists that they pick. So it's some of my doorways and also some of my family archives. From my mother's side of the family, it's Jewish heritage. My father, Cuban Catholic. I'm a mutt, which I love.
Same.
It's a good thing. So from my mother's side, they have displays with some of the artifacts from my
Oh,
grandmother,
wow.
my great grandmother. It's beautiful. So if anyone's going to go to Miami Beach, it's
Yeah.
at the Jewish Museum of Florida. So I'm very excited, and I'm very excited to take them other places. Not
Yeah.
sure quite where yet, but I would love for it to be a traveling exhibit or
Yeah.
a gallery somewhere else.
That is really fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. I love the concept. I
It's exciting.
won't get down there the first quarter of this year, but definitely I'll keep in touch and find out like where
Yeah,
else you go.
that would be great. But that's one of the things is like, who would have said that my cancer was going to lead
Mm,
to this book, was going to lead to, all these things, some camps, did a musical based on a book that I wrote with some other girlfriends before. And then the cancer was put in there that was going to lead to a documentary, was going to lead to amazing healers that have now come into my life from around the
mhm.
world. And these amazing, spectacular, strong, courageous women like you that have come
Mhm.
into my life. It's really interesting. I sometimes think, where would I be now if I
Yes,
hadn't had the cancer?
I think the same.
You do?
Yes.
So bizarre. I mean,
There's
professionally,
a definitive before and after.
BC,
That is
BC.
a line drawn in my life that caused me to hone in on the fact that I wasn't actually choosing my life. It
Yeah.
was going through the steps that I thought I was supposed to go through and wasn't choosing what was a good fit for me in my spirit. And the cancer, I was only 27, so it was just like,
Wow.
whoa, and I feel like that slammed on the brakes for me in every aspect of my life, from career to relationship, primary relationship to just everything. And I took a turn after that, to making conscious choices about my life. I'm in a whole different place. I can't conceptualize what my life would have been without that.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Think
Yeah, for
that
sure.
happens to a lot of people that are diagnosed. And I'm sure with other diseases as well, but
Hmm.
ours was with
Yeah.
this. But, you got to hold on to hope and faith, and just go to a place of peace inside. No matter what's happening on the outside, it just doesn't serve you to do anything else. And I
Right.
understand it's not an easy thing to do. Look, these last 3 years has been very difficult for me on a
Mhm.
variety of levels, not health related. And it's taken me 3 whole years to come back to this place of peace that I had learned how to tap into. So we have to keep relearning it and relearning
Yeah,
it, learning it until we can really do it and be it, no matter what is happening externally. More important these days than any other pastime I can think of in the world.
that's very true. Yeah. I think that's actually a perfect note to end on.
Okay, for
Just to
now.
keep relearning, re-embodying that lesson
Yes.
over and over.
Yes.
Um, Thank you. This is incredible. Your story is incredible from your loss all the way through, your own experience. Thank you so much for sharing with us and for being vulnerable.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to be on this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And for the whole program and what
absolutely.
you do.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I'm looking forward to finding ways that we can, continue to collaborate, of course.
We'll be in touch.
Yes. Okay, good. To
Age.
our listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Twist Out Cancer podcast. Don't forget
Yeah.
to subscribe, leave a review, and we will see you next time.